Hello, boys. Welcome to the lecture of industrial fluid power. Now, boys, as you know that we have started with the study of some hydraulic circuits, and in last lecture we finished the four important hydraulic circuit. That, as you know, that we finish meter in hydraulic circuit, meter out hydraulic circuit, bleed off hydraulic circuit, and sequencing hydraulic circuit. So these four circuits we have studied, and what is the construction and how these circuits are work, that we have seen. Now in today's lecture we are going to see the remaining important hydraulic circuits, that is number 5 unloading circuit, number 6 synchronizing circuit, number 7 we have the regenerative circuit, number 8 counterbalance circuit, number 9 dual pump unloading circuit, hydraulic circuit for milling machine, and hydraulic circuit for the shaping machine. So this is the meter in hydraulic circuit. We have finished this. Here the flow control valve with inbuilt check valve is provided at the inlet of the actuator. Now in our all lectures we are calling this side as the inlet of the actuator and this side as the outlet of the actuator, but we can also call this side of the actuator as a blind end of the actuator, and this side of the actuator we can call it is known as the rod end of the actuator, because actually the force is exerted from this end. So this end is known as the rod end, and this end we can call it is known as the blind end of the actuator. So the flow control valve is fitted at the blind end, or we can say the inlet of the actuator, and therefore as it is at the inlet of the actuator, this circuit is known as the meter in hydraulic circuit, that we have seen. Now second circuit we have seen, which is the meter out hydraulic circuit. Here the same flow control valve with integral check valve is fitted at the outlet, or I can say at the rod end of the actuator, and therefore it is known as the meter out hydraulic circuit. The both the circuits, meter in hydraulic circuit and meter out hydraulic circuit, are used for controlling the motion or controlling the speed of the actuator in only one direction, so that you can control the speed in any one direction. And if you want to control the speed in both the directions, so what you have to do, you have to provide the two flow control valves, one at the rod end and another at the blank end. So here will be also one flow control valve, here will be also one flow control valve with integral check valve. Then and then only you can control the speed of the actuator in both the direction. And as per the setting of the flow control valve, there can be the speed variation. So the forward stroke can be faster, the return or the retardation speed can be the slower. So depending upon how much you are setting this flow control valve, according to that the speed of the actuator can be controlled. But suppose the third circuit that we have seen, it is known as bleed off hydraulic circuit. So what actually we are doing in case of the bleed off hydraulic circuit, we want to control the speed of the actuator in both the direction, in what you can say the extension as well as in retardation. The forward we can call it is known as the extension, and when it comes backward it is known as the retardation. So in extension as well as in retardation, if you want to control the speed of the actuator, we are going to use the bleed off hydraulic circuit. So here there is a bleed off valve is provided. So it is bleed off valve is nothing but it is a pressure compensated flow control valve. So you can see here the difference, that there is a no check valve, integral check valve is provided. So it is simply pressure compensated flow control valve, and this flow control valve is provided as the pressure line of the pump. So whatever the oil is coming from the pump, before going to the direction control valve, some part of the oil is already removed from this bleed off control valve, and as the some oil is already removed before going to the direction control valve, the quantity of oil going to the actuator will be less, and hence we can control the speed of the actuator in bleed off hydraulic circuit. So that we have finished. The fourth circuit which we finish, which is known as the sequencing circuit. So you know that we have taken one example. Suppose this is the workpiece there, the first operation that we have to clamp the workpiece, and second operation after clamping we want to do the some drilling or the rimming or the any operation we want to perform. Let us consider the drilling operation, right? So here we want to actuate the two actuators. So and they should actuate it in a sequence. The first actuator finishes work. After this actuator clamp the work with, then second actuator should come into the picture. And for that, what we have used these two sequence valves we have used. So this sequence valve are nothing but they are like a pressure relief valve with integral check valve are provided. So these two sequence valve we have used, and by using the 4x2 direction control valve we sequence the operation of two actuator. That also we have finished. Now today's new what you can say the circuit that we are going to see, which is known as the unloading circuit. Now what is the unloading circuit? Or first I will explain you that what are the important components that are used in the hydraulic unloading hydraulic circuit. So what are the components? Here you can see this is the one component, that reservoir where the oil is stored. Second component, that is the oil filter. Here the oil is filtered and the dirt, dust and impurities are removed here. The third component is that power pack, that is nothing but the pump connected with the electrical motor, that is the prime mover. From there at the pressure line of the pump there is a pressure gauge which indicates the pressure of the pump, and there is a unloading valve. So this valve we can call it is known as the unloading valve. It is nothing but the pressure relief valve, unloading valve, right? After that there is a 4x3 direction control valve. So you can see here this valve, direction control valve, is 4x3 direction control valve. So there are the 4 ports. This will be the P port, this will be the A port, this will be the B port, and this will be the R or the reservoir port, right? And this position 1 of direction control valve, this is position 2 of direction control valve, and this is position 3, that is we call it is known as the central position of the direction control valve, where all ports are closed. And we require the one actuator, that is the double acting hydraulic cylinder. So this is the double acting hydraulic cylinder. Now where this unloading hydraulic circuit is used? Now you know that the name as indicating unloading. Unloading means what? We have to unload something, and in hydraulic circuit what we have to unload? We have to unload the pressure created by the hydraulic pump. In some cases we have to unload the pressure created by the hydraulic pump. Now where this unloading hydraulic circuit is used, suppose there is one operation is taking place, right? And in that operation what happens? Your actuator moves from this position to this position, right? So the actuator has moved from here to here, and you want to stop here at middle position. Suppose you want to stop here, this actuator. So in that case what happens? You bring the position of direction control to this third position, central position. So what will happen when I bring the position to the central position? Oil from the pump will not go to the any port, right? Then from actuator ports the oil will not go to the actuator, or it will not come to the actuator, right? That position will happen. So what happen? In that condition the pump is continuously running. We are not stopping the pump. As the pump is continuously working and the oil is moving forward, so what will happen? As the oil is not having any path to go further in this central position, so the pressure of the oil in this line will increase, and as the pressure of the oil will increase, what will happen? It will increase the temperature of the what you can say the oil, and it will create some unnecessary problems, right? This can be the one case. Another case, what can be the another case? Suppose you perform the operation, that is the actuator moves from this position to the this position, and it comes again from this position to this position, retardation of that. In retardation also you want to stop the actuator in middle for some reason. So in that case also what will happen? Pump is continuously running, it will continuously discharge the oil, and as the oil is not having any flow, so it will create the back pressure. So that back pressure or the high pressure we have to discharge, and when I will discharge that high pressure, then I will say that I have unloaded the pump. The pump unloading is done. Now what we will study the circuit now. Now suppose my direction control valve is at number 1, right? So when my direction control valve will be at number 1, so what will happen? So suppose the pump is connected to the A port. So here let us see. So the pump is connected to the this port. Here pump is connected, right? Then this A port pump is connected to the A port of the actuator. Here B port of the actuator will be connected to the this port. So this is one position will happen, and this will be connected to the reservoir. So it will come to the reservoir, right? So this line once again I will draw. So this will connected to the reservoir. So from here the oil will go to the reservoir here, right? You understand? So P is connected to the A port and B port of the actuator is connected to the reservoir. So what will happen as the pump is working on here, the check valve is provided. So this check valve will get open. As it will get open, the oil will flow from here to here, and the actuator will start moving into the forward direction. Extension of the actuator will take place. Whatever the oil is there, that oil from this port will come to the reservoir and the operation is finished, right? Now suppose I change the position to position number 2, this position. So what will happen in case of the second position of the direction control valve? Suppose I connected this, right? I connected this. P is connected now to the A. So here there will be the connection. 1 minute. So A will be connected to the this end. This will be connected to this end. P will be connected to the this end, and R will be connected to the reservoir. So this will be the connection. So in that case what happen? Again the check valve will get open. Oil from the pump will go to the B end of the actuator and it will start a retardation. So it will come backward. From this side the oil will come to this A port and it will go to the reservoir. This is the normal operation. So our actuator will work normally. But suppose what happens, in between this I change the position of direction control valve and I brought the central position of the direction control valve. Now see what will happen in that case. Now when I will change the central position of the direction control valve, so this valve will have the connection like this. So this valve will have the connection. Now I will make the connection. So this A will be connected to this, P will be connected to the this end, and this will be connected to the B will be connected to this, and this will connected to the R. But in central position you can see that all the ports are closed. So this direction control valve, A port is closed, B port is also closed, P is also closed, R is also closed. So no oil from the pump will flow to the actuator. So in that case position what will happen, as the pump is still running and as the pump is still discharging the oil, in this line the pressure will start increasing, and when this pressure will start increasing more, so it may cause some damage. So in that case what I have provided here, I have provided from here, I have taken one pilot line, right? This pilot line is given to this unloading valve. This is unloading valve, simply like a pressure relief valve. So it is normally in closed position, right? And it is adjusted with the help of this spring force, right? Now when what happens, the pump is running ideally and the pressure in this line will increasing. So pressure in this pilot line will also increase, as there will be the higher pressure than the set pressure of the spring. This valve will get open. Now it will get open. As this valve gets open, whatever the oil coming from the pump is there, that oil will come to the reservoir, and as it will come to the reservoir, the pump is unloaded till the further operation of the further position of the direction control valve is not changed. You understand? So I am not stopping the pump in this central position. Pump is still running, but only I am unloading the pressure of the oil with the help of the pilot line. And this, as this check valve is provided from this line, the oil will not flow into the backward direction. From here, the oil will go to the this unloading valve, and the oil will directly go to the reservoir. So this is our unloading circuit. So I hope you understand the unloading circuit. Okay boys, after finishing the unloading circuit, we are going to see the next our circuit, that is known as the synchronizing circuit. Now what is the meaning of synchronizing circuit? That when I want to operate the two actuators at one time, right, for that purpose I will use the circuit which is known as the synchronizing circuit. Now here are, you can see that there are the two circuits are there, both are the different, right? So this is circuit number 1, which is in which the two actuators are there. This is actuator number 1 and this is actuator number 2. So it is 2. These two actuators are operated at one time, and as these actuators are actuated at one time, they are known as the actuators are connected in parallel. So here this is the two actuators are connected in a parallel. Here you can see that there are the two actuators are there. Cylinder number, this is 1, and cylinder number, this is 2. So this is our circuit number 2, that is synchronizing circuit number 2. In this circuit number 2, it is known as the actuators are connected in a series. So these two actuators are connected into the series. Now first we will see, when the two actuators are connected in a parallel, how the hydraulic circuit will work. Synchronizing of the two actuators will take place. Now first let us see what are the important components of this synchronizing circuit in which the actuators are connected in a parallel. So this is first part, which is known as the reservoir. So this part is your reservoir where the oil is stored. This is second part, it is the pump. So the from this direction you can see it is the unidirectional constant flow pump. This is the motor, electric motor. It will work as a prime mover. So this is the prime mover to run the pump. Here is the pressure relief valve. It is provided, that is the pressure relief valve. Then here is the pressure gauge which will measure the pressure of the pump line. Then we are using here 4/3. So this is the direction control valve, and this direction control valve we are using this is our direction control valve. This direction control valve is 4/3 solenoid operated direction control valve. So these are the three position number 1, position number 2, and position number 3, that is the central position. In position number 1, what will happen? P will be connected to the A end of the actuator, and B end of the actuator will be connected to the reservoir. In position number 2, what will happen? The pump will be connected to the B end of the actuator, and A end of the actuator will be connected to the reservoir. So here we can call the and this is central position. So all ports of the direction control valve are closed in the central position. Now what happens? Let us consider that I have set the direction control valve at position number 1. So when the direction control valve is at position number 1, what will happen? You see that in this position number 1, what will happen? The pump will be connected to the A end of the actuator. So this is A end of the actuator. and the B end of the actuator will be connected to the reservoir. So here it is connected. So B and A will be connected. Now what happens? There are the two actuators, right? So suppose this is the A end of the actuators. Here A end of the actuator. Both the A ends of the actuator are connected in a one line. So this is one is connected here, and from here it is also connected here, and both these end will be connected to the A port. So the oil will flow from pump. So from here the oil will flow from pump to the oil will flow to this line, and from here the oil will go to the actuator number 1 and actuator number 2. As the oil is simultaneously going to both the actuators will move into the forward direction. As both the actuators will extend, so what will happen? Whatever the oil is there, that oil from the actuator number 1 will come here, oil from the actuator number 2 will come here, and that both the oil from this end it will come to the reservoir. So from this end will be connected to the reservoir. So oil will go to the reservoir. This is normal operation. Now what is happening here? By using the single pump, I am actuating the two hydraulic cylinder, both moving into the forward direction, and both are doing some work, right? So at one time both the actuators are moving into the forward direction, and the oil is coming return to the reservoir. This is position number 1. Now suppose I move the direction control valve now, and as I move the direction control valve and I connected the direction control valve to the position number 2. So suppose this is our position number 2. So in this position number 2, what will happen? The P end of the pump, or we can say the pump, will be connected to the B end of the actuator. So this pump, B end of the actuator will be connected to the pump, and A end of the actuator will be connected to the reservoir. So here it will come to the reservoir. So this will be connected to the A end. So it will be connected to the A end, and B end will be connected to this end. Now how the oil will flow? From the pump, the oil through the direction control valve will go to this line. So I will show those. From pump the oil will go to this line. It will go to the B end, or we can say rod end of the actuator, and as the oil will go here, these two actuators will start moving into the downward direction at a one time. So simultaneously at one time these two actuators will start coming downward, and whatever the oil is stored here, that oil from this will come here. From this actuator the oil will come here, and from this oil, that oil will go to the reservoir, and therefore this hydraulic circuit is known as synchronizing hydraulic circuit. So here the same circuit you can make by using the flow divider. So when we study the flow control valves, in that we have seen one important valve which is known as the flow divider. So this circuit also can be made by using the flow divider, but in this case we have made this circuit by using the 4x3 solenoid operated direction control valve. So here both the cylinders move at one time in forward, and both the cylinders move at one time in the retardation or come backward. So this is the two cylinders or the two actuators are connected in a parallel. So synchronizing circuit. Now let us see that what will happen when the two cylinders are connected into the series. This is also synchronizing circuit, and the components of this synchronizing circuit are also same. So this is actuator. Here you can see this is the actuator, this is pump, this is electrical motor, this is pressure relief valve, PRV, pressure gauge. Then again there is, you can see again there is the 4x3 solenoid operated direction control valve, and there are the two actuators, cylinder number 1, cylinder number 2. Now what happens, suppose I set the direction control valve, or I operated the direction control valve for a position number 1. So this is, suppose this is position number 1. So what will happen in this case? In this case, the pump will be connected to the this end, and suppose this is connected to the A end. So pump will be connected to the A end. From here, what will happen? The oil will go to the first cylinder. So it will go to the first cylinder, right? So here the oil will go, and the B end of the actuator, so this is from second actuator, it is connected to the B end, and this will come to the reservoir. So it is coming to the reservoir. Here it is coming to the reservoir, you can see. So when this will come to the reservoir, now what will happen? As the pump will discharge the oil, this oil will go to the first actuator, and this first actuator will start moving into the upward direction. As this starts is moving into the upward direction, what will happen? Whatever the oil is stored here in the first actuator, that oil will go to the inlet of the second actuator, and immediately after the movement of the first actuator, the second actuator will start moving into the upward direction. But for this second actuator, the oil is coming from the first actuator. So from here oil will come and it will move into the forward direction, and whatever the oil is there in the first actuator, second actuator, that oil will come through this line, through the direction control valve. It will come to the, through this line it will come to the reservoir. So this is the first position. So first this actuator will start moving, and immediately after that this actuator will also start moving, right? Now suppose I change the position of direction control valve. Now suppose this is position number 1 is not there. Now I change the position of direction control valve to the position number 2. So I make this position number 2, this. So in this position number 2, what will happen? Let us see. First make the connection. So when the direction control valve will move here, the P will be connected to the this end. So this end will be connected to the pump. This end will be connected to the reservoir. So it is connected to the reservoir, right? This end will be connected to the actuator number 1, and this end will be connected to the actuator number 2. Are you getting me? Right? So what will happen? Now let us, pump is discharging the oil. Oil from this end, pump will go to the second actuator first. So I will go to the second actuator from what you can say the rod end, and this second actuator will start coming into the downward direction, right? As this starts coming into the downward direction, whatever the oil is stored here, that oil will move from there, here to here, and from here to the actuator number 1, and immediately the actuator number 1 will also start coming downward, or we can say the retardation of the actuator number 1, and whatever the oil in actuator number 1 is there, that through this line, return line, will come to here, and from through direction control valve it will go to the reservoir. Hence, by using the single pump, by using the single direction control valve, we operated the two actuators. First we connected the two actuators in series, parallel, and second, in this case, we connected the two actuators in a series. So I hope you understand the synchronizing circuit. It is very simple to understand. And when, what will happen when I will take the central position? So in this central position, what will happen? As it is a holding position, so no port of the actuator is connected, pump is not connected to no port, and reservoir is also not connected to any port. So what will happen? Whatever the load is, either the load is lifted or either the load is lowered. In whatever the position the load is there, it will be hold there. So this position we can call it known as the third position, we can call it known as the hold position. So there will not be any movement of the actuator, because through this central position no oil will go to the actuator and no oil will come from the actuator to the reservoir. So this is synchronizing circuit. Okay boys, after finishing the synchronizing circuit, now there is a next circuit that we have to study today, which is known as the regenerative hydraulic circuit. Now what happens, the word is that regenerative. Generate means what? To create. Regenerate means what? Whatever is available that we are using, right? So that is the regenerative hydraulic circuit. Now what we are doing is, in this regenerative hydraulic circuit, suppose there is a feed direction or the forward direction of the actuator is taking place. So this feed direction or the forward direction of the actuator, we want to increase the speed, right? So we want to make it faster. So when I want to make the forward motion of the actuator faster, what I need in that case, suppose I want, this is the forward motion of the actuator, and I want to increase the speed of the forward motion of the actuator. So what I have to do, I have to supply the more amount of the oil from the pump, and when the more amount of the oil will require, so ultimately I want to increase the capacity of the pump, right? So instead of increasing the capacity of the pump for increasing the forward motion of the actuator, what I am doing, I am using the oil coming from the actuator. So this is the actuator, and when this actuator from this port, the oil will go. So from here, when the oil will go, so it will move into the forward direction, and from this other end, we generally call it is known as the B end. From this B end, the oil will come, and that oil, instead of going to the reservoir, I am again adding to the pump line, right? So you can see the difference. Whatever the oil is coming from the actuator end, that should go to the reservoir traditionally, but instead of going to the reservoir, I am adding that flow of oil to the pump flow. So means I am adding additional oil, and that additional oil will go to the actuator from this end, and as it will go from this end, it will increase the speed of the actuator. So I am using this side oil for increasing the speed, and therefore this circuit is known as the regenerative hydraulic circuit. Understand? Now first, in regenerative hydraulic circuit, what are the important components that we will see? So in this regenerative hydraulic circuit, this is the oil reservoir. You can see here, this is the oil reservoir. From oil reservoir, here is the what you can say, the filter where the oil is filtered. Then this is the power pack, that is the pump, and this pump is driven by the motor. Then to the pump, what we generally fit, we generally fit the pressure relief valve. So it will make the system safe for if there is a higher pressure is built up in the system, that can be taken off with the help of the pressure relief valve. So it is the safety device. Then this is the pressure gauge and setup valve. It will indicate the pressure from the pump line. Then we are using here, what we are using here, 4x3 direction control valve, which is also the solenoid operated 4x3 direction control valve. So generally it is not solenoid operated, it is 4x3 position manually operated spring loaded direction control valve. So it is manually operated, so you have to push from this side or you have to push from this side. It is manually operated 4x3 direction control valve. And we have the double acting hydraulic cylinder. So this is the actuator. As already you know, this end is known as the blind end of the actuator, and this end will be known as the rod end of the actuator. Now this is, in this diagram, it is the central position. So what is happening in the central position, as the pump is going on, the oil from the pump is going, and as this pump is connected to the reservoir, so directly from the pump the oil will go to the reservoir. A end is closed and B end is also closed. Now there is one change in this direction control valve, and that change is very, very important. What is that change in the direction control valve? In direction control valve, that is the second port of the direction control valve. Generally in 4x3 direction control valve, how many ports are there? 4 ports will be there. We call this port, suppose this port we call it as the pump port. So from pump the oil will go to this port we call A port, so it will go to the A end of the actuator. This port we call it is known as the B end, so oil from the actuator generally come to this B end, and this end we call it is known as the reservoir. So in this case what happened, this B end of the actuator, this is the B end, is closed. So B end is closed. Here also it will get closed. So this is one construction change in the 4x3 direction control valve, that its B end which is going to the actuator is completely closed. So it is closed. So how it is closed? Generally one, what we can say, the screw cap is fitted here. So from this the oil will not come forward and it will not come downward. Only 3 ports are open. P port is open, so this P port is open, right? This A port is also open, this A port is also open, and this B port is closed. So that is one constructional change in this 4x3 manually operated direction control valve, that B end of the direction control valve is closed with the help of the nut. Understand? Now this is the position. Now what will happen? Let us see that how this circuit will regenerate the energy. Suppose I push the direction control valve to position number 1. This is our position number, suppose 1. So what will happen? When the direction control valve is connected to the position number 1, so you can see here pump is connected to the A end. So the oil from the pump will go to this line. You can see oil from pump will go to this line, and it will go to the blind end of the actuator, or generally we call it is not A end of the actuator. As the oil from the pump goes to the A end of the actuator will start moving into the forward direction, right? But whatever the oil is coming from here, that is actuator return line, that oil instead of going to the, what you can say, the reservoir, it is added to the pump line. Means from pump some amount of the oil is coming, that is also going to the actuator, and from this return line of the actuator again some oil is coming, and that oil is also going to the actuator. So what is happening? I am adding this additional oil to the actuator, this from coming from the other end of the actuator. Due to this, what happens? More amount of the oil will go to the actuator, and as more amount of the oil will go to the actuator, the forward or the extension speed of the actuator will be higher, and the oil will not go to the reservoir. So you understand the first position, right? Now suppose I change the position, manually operated the direction control valve, and I make the position number 2. So what will happen in position number 2? You can see here. Now the direction control valve is at position number 2. So what happened? The pump is connected to the second end, right? But as the pump is connected to the second end of the direction control valve, and as this B port of the direction control valve is closed, we have made it blind by fixing the nut, the oil will not flow to through this end. So what will happen to the pump? As this end is closed, the oil will not go here. This oil will go to this end of the actuator, and as you can see here, from the pump the oil is going to this end of the actuator. The actuator will move into the forward direction. As the actuator move into the forward direction, what will happen now? It will move into this direction, that is retardation of the actuator will take place, and whatever the oil is there, this oil will from this line will go to the reservoir. Therefore the retardation speed of the actuator will be normal, but when the actuator will connected to this first position, in this first position what happens? Additional oil is added to the actuator, and due to this additional oil, the speed of the actuator increases. In second position, what happens? In second position, only the discharge from the pump, same oil is go to the actuator, and the actuator moves in the backward direction with the normal speed, and from this line the oil will go to the reservoir. So this is known as regenerative circuit. Now you understand why it is known as the regenerative circuit? Because we are using, here you can see, we are using this oil also, we are using for increasing the speed of the actuator. Instead of sending this oil to the reservoir, we are using this oil for increasing the speed of the actuator. So this is known as the regenerative hydraulic circuit. I hope you understand regenerative hydraulic circuit. Okay boys, we just finished the regenerative hydraulic circuit, in which the oil coming from the rod end of the actuator, we are adding to the oil, pump oil, going to the blank end of the, or the blind end of the actuator, so that the speed of the actuator can be increased. So after finishing this regenerative circuit, we will see our next circuit, which is known as the counterbalance circuit. You can see, counterbalance means we have to balance something, and for this balancing something we have to add some counter measures. So this is counterbalance circuit. The diagram shows the counterbalance circuit, and the construction part is very simple. So you can see here what is in the construction part. In counterbalance circuit, you can see here, so the important parts are there. So what are the important parts? You can see here, this is the reservoir. You can see it is the reservoir. Here the oil is stored. This is the pump, where the function of the pump is to discharge the high pressure oil to the system. This is the electrical motor, which will use as a prime mover to drive the pump. And furthermore, here it is the pressure relief valve. This is the safety device used to control the system pressure and to save the system from higher pressure. This is another one part, which is known as the pressure gauge, which will indicate the pressure of the pump. And here again we are using the solenoid operated 4x3 direction control valve. So there are the three position number 1, position number 2, and this is position number 3, which is known as the central position. Now and there is a actuator. So you can see here, this is the actuator, hydraulic cylinder, double acting hydraulic cylinder. And one additional part we are using here, this is known as the counterbalance valve. So if you see the construction of the counterbalance valve, you will feel like the valve that we use in meter in and meter out hydraulic circuit. So this is the flow control valve. So this part will be the flow control valve, look like flow control valve. And this is the check valve. So it is the check valve is there, right? And this is this part look like a what you can say, the pressure relief valve. This part look like. Now what happens where this counterbalance hydraulic circuit is used? Suppose what happens, this is the actuator, right? Now what happens when you will send the oil from this side. Suppose I send the oil from this side. This is the inlet of the actuator. So what will happen? Oil from this side will go to the upward, and the load, whatever the load is attached here, that load can be lifted in the upward direction, right? So the load is lifted into the upward direction, and the actuator move into the upward direction. Now when I change the direction of the oil and I send the oil from this line, so from this the oil is coming. So in that case what will happen? As the load is attached here, and due to gravity, what will happen? This load will suddenly come in downward direction, because the load is attached here. The gravity will also act, and therefore from top side the hydraulic oil is also coming. So due to this load, what will happen? There is a chances that this load will come very fast into the downward direction. Without control, it will come into the downward direction. Now to restrict the movement of this load coming into the downward direction, this counterbalance hydraulic circuit is used. And for this counterbalance hydraulic circuit, which is the important part, this counterbalance valve is very, very important part, right? Now we will see the working of this hydraulic circuit, right? Now suppose what happens, the first position is there. Now in this first position what happens? Suppose this is the first position of the hydraulic circuit. Now in this first position what happens? This pump is connected to this end, A end. So suppose pump is connected to the A end. So the from pump, the oil will go to the this end of the direction control valve. From this end of the direction control valve, the oil will go to the actuator. Suppose the oil is going from this line, the oil is going to the actuator like this, right? So when the oil will go to this line, this will move into the downward direction, right? The load will move into the downward direction. Now whatever the oil is stored here, that oil will come from this direction, that oil will come, and now this oil will go to this counterbalance valve. So whatever is the counterbalance valve is there. Now you see when the oil will come here, from here the oil will come, right? When the oil will come from here, so that oil will not flow through this valve because this valve is normally closed. Now if suppose the oil moves through this check valve, the oil will also not move through this check valve because this check valve is also closed. It will allow, this check valve will allow only the forward motion of the oil. In this direction the oil will only move through this check valve, only in forward direction the oil will move, in this direction the oil will move, right? So the oil will not come from this check valve. So what happens now? As the oil is coming from the actuator, it will not move through this check valve. It will also not move through this, what you can say, the valve, relief valve. Up till now, when this will not move, up till the pressure in this line or in this cylinder increases the pressure beyond this spring force. And when the pressure of this oil from this line increases the pressure exerted by the force exerted by the spring force, this pilot line will get operated, and now this valve will get open, and now this valve will get open, the oil will flow from this to this, and then this oil will go to this line and it will be connected to the reservoir. From here it will go to the reservoir. Understand? So this is the what you can say, the operation of the valve will take place. Now what will happen in the next case? Suppose I connected this valve to the, suppose now I will erase this all. Now suppose I connected the second position of this valve, solenoid operated valve, second position. Now in this second position what will happen? I will check some color, I will check. In second position what will happen? The pump, this pump will be connected to this position, right? From here the oil will go to the second end. Oil will go to this line. So from here the oil will now move to this through, right? So here the oil will not move because this is generally, I will erase this wall is closed, this wall is closed. So what will happen? The oil through this line, as the pump is connected to the second position, oil will move from here to here, right? Oil will move from here to here, and again it will move here, but from this wall it will not move because this is closed. So from where the oil will move? The oil will move through this check valve. So normal flow will take place through this check valve. The oil will go to here, and as the oil will go here, the load will be lifted. Now whatever the oil is stored here, that oil through this line will again come to this, and this end will be connected to where it will be connected? This end will get connected to here, and from here the oil will go to reservoir. Here the oil will come. Understand? So in this second position, what will happen? The pump is connected to the B end of the actuator. The oil will move from here. It will not move through this wall because it is normally closed. So the oil will move from this check wall, and through this check wall the oil will go to the actuator. The load will be lifted into the upward direction, and this from other end of the actuator the oil will come to this line and it will come to the reservoir. From this line the oil will come to the reservoir. Understand? But in second position, now the load is lifted and I want to bring that load into the downward direction. Now when I want to bring this load into the downward direction, it should get control. It should not come downward abruptly or suddenly, because the gravity will act. So for that position, what happens? Once again I will explain. I will erase this all part. Now suppose this line I will remove everything and I will connect the first position. So when I will connect to the first position, so what will happen? First position, the pump is connected to the A port of the actuator. From here the oil will move and the oil will move to the actuator. Free flow of the oil will take place. It will go to the actuator and it will start coming downward. But when coming downward, I want to balance this weight. Suddenly this weight should not come downward. For balancing this weight, what happened? Whatever the oil is coming from here, I am having some restriction to this oil. And how I am having restriction? Because I provided here the counterbalance wall. Whatever the oil will coming from here, it will not move through this counterbalance wall because this wall is closed. This oil will not move through this check wall because this check wall is also closed. Now to come, unless and until the oil from this bottom side does not pass, this load will not come downward. And when this load will come downward, when the sufficient amount of the pressure will created here, due to this sufficient amount of the pressure, that oil pressure will be operated through this pilot line. This wall will get open, and as this wall get open, the oil will flow now to this line and it will get connected to the reservoir and it will go to the reservoir. Understand? Hence the downward movement of the weight is controlled, or I can hold. So this load can be held at the central position with the help of adjusting the spring force of this counterbalance wall. So I will adjust the spring force depending upon the requirement. If I applied the more spring force, the load can be held for a more time, or I can say the more pressure limit. And if the spring force is less, the load can be held here, or the load will have the resistance up to the spring force. So this is known as the counterbalance hydraulic circuit. So I hope you understand the counterbalance hydraulic circuit.